a budget motivates me eh. Meaning, 1.5 lang yung pera ko pambili ng damit. 4.5 yung kailangan ko. It aroused the entrepreneurial spirit in me that kulang yung budget eh. I'll find ways on how I can raise cash in order for me to buy it. But it gives me a realization.
Right.
Ito yung pera mo, I'll be faithful with this. Kung walang papasok, di okay lang. Please ka lang, wag ka maiinggit kung may kaibigan ka na merong ganun. Pero what you do is, if you have the means, you have the ability to raise cash, do you raise cash? It's a ano eh. For me, budgeting gives you a wake-up call kung nasan ka talaga sa finances mo eh. Ito na talaga pwede mo gawin. Ito na pwede talagang gastusan mo eh. I distribute my money up until now every time money comes in. Tapos, the way it's distributed is it goes to every goal or every budget or every item that's there. So that, alam mo yung pinaka-technique why I do it? Because when you split your money, hindi siya nagmumukhang malaki eh. Pag hindi siya nagmumukhang malaki, it forces you to work more eh. And the problem sometimes is if there's no goal, you just have a large amount of money lying around. You become either complacent or you spend too much. Okay na to. May sale sa mall. Okay, bili na ako TV kahit may TV pa na gumaganap kasi madami pa naman yan eh. So that's what I do. Yeah. Split everything based on a certain goal that I want. Then even if I have the money to buy this, pero the money for my goal is not enough to buy that, I will not get from another goal.
But how do you get out of debt? Simple way to get out of debt is list down all the debts. Kahit ilang libo yan, kahit ilang daang piso lang yan, list down everything, including the interest. And then number 2 is determine to pay from the smallest to the biggest. Meaning the smallest loan, bayaran mo na yan para it's out of the way. Then you work your way towards the bigger ticket item. And then the third one is stick to the plan until you're debt free.
In this vlog, we have business consultant / business expert / all-around good guy. Ardy Abello is back in the vlog. In the first video, we talked about what are you supposed to do in times of crisis? How do you navigate your business? But for this video, we're going to talk about personal finance. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about in this season, how do you make your money grow or how do you have cash during this season? So, welcome back, Mr. Abello.
All thank you so much, Marvin, and thank you everyone for tuning in again on this episode. It's always a pleasure to work with Marvin and talk with Marvin. Let's see how we can build our wealth.
You coined the word wealthness. What does that mean?
Basically, how do you build your financial health? Kasi, everybody, we all strive to work as hard as we can. We all strive to build our savings, build some sort of investment portfolio, no matter how small or how big it is. But the important thing kasi is to see how healthy we are with regards to finances, because we all know that anything that we want to achieve in life will take money. It's not money that's the root of all evil. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil. Kasi money is really a tool. I often hear them saying, if only I had more money, then I would so and so. It's actually not how much money you earn, but it's what you do with the kind of earnings that you have that will help build your financial health. We were talking the other time about what's the worst scenario and the good scenario in all of this crisis, in this health and economical crisis. One good thing is magkakaroon ka ng reset button. Diba? Like now you have an opportunity to start 2020 all over again. Parang ganon. Kasi in the first quarter, nag-reset tayo.
And I like what you said that it's not money that's the root of all evil, it's the love of money. Because this is what I believe, Ardy. It's not wrong to have money, but it's wrong when money has you. Na iba yung trying to earn money because for you, money is not the end goal, but money becomes something that it becomes a byproduct of the value that you give. It becomes a byproduct of how good you are as well. And why do billionaires still create business They create businesses not because having a billion more makes a big difference in their finances. 1 billion, 2 billion, you can buy almost the same things already. It's just that they love the game. They love entrepreneurship. They like to make a difference. And yun din yung nagagawa ng pere. And before we go with, we have specific points for people. You opened with a great statement. I just want to munch on this statement also. What's your take on this? People always say that money is not everything. What's your comment on that?
It's true because like now, kung titingnan mo kung if money was the only thing, today, hindi gumagalaw yung pera mo sa bangko, hindi gumagalaw yung pera mo. It's not naman that it's useless, but it's really more, you have to think about also what else are a resource that you have. Kasi many people don't know this, most especially, they're not conscious about it. Time is a resource. If time were a currency, how rich would you be? Everything that we do now is also time bound. Now we're seeing this also, that we're spending more and more time because we're locked up. So you're now beginning to realize that you can build on your relationship with your family, build your relationship with your extended family, which you can do online like we're doing now. Money is not the only thing that you have to consider in life. It's also about the relationships that you have, the relationships that you built over time, then the time that you have, given how much time do we really have to build lasting relationships. And in the process, you earn money that will all become a tool kasi to get what you want, as I said earlier, to get what you want in life.
This is my take on it. Money is not everything, but it's also not nothing. People always say, anong magagawa ng pera mo ngayon? Hindi mo magagamit. Meron pa rin. Kasi you're not worrying also that what if this boils down, if this becomes 3 months, 6 months, because you have money, you won't have to worry that may grocery ka, may kakainin ka. So it's not everything, but it's also not nothing. That there's a sweet spot na you think that wala siya, and then you also think na yun yung pinaka-importante. No, it's not there. And I think that's the goal of what you want to share here, no, that we build people who make money, but hindi naman din sila mukhang pera. Kasi the last thing that we want is people are just there, that money is the most important thing for them. Guess what? And a good friend, Randall Chongson, would always say this, yung pera, hindi mo siya madadala sa langit. Pag nadala mo siya sa langit, maling langit yung napuntahan mo. So, it's very, very important that, yun nga, we talk about money. It's not the end goal of everything. You have 4 points in all of this Wealthess series.
Yeah.
Okay, number 1, Ardy, please guys, while you're watching, please take notes. Notes. Yung Ardy said that time is so important. Yung oras ni Ardy sobrang mahal yan. So every time he says something, it's always gold. So take notes, guys. Go.
The very first thing that we have to consider in terms of building your financial health is commit to your financial goal. When you think about financial goals, what is it that you really want? And what is it that you will be saving up for? What is it that you're going to be investing for? A goal kasi will do 3 things for you. And number 1 is it will narrow your focus. Diba? When you talk about a goal, people who have a clear goal in mind, a compelling goal in mind, it narrows their focus. In other words, when you talk about starting to earn, pag kumita ka ng kaunti, targeted yung spending mo. Kasi alam mong may goal ka, alam mong may vision ka, alam mong may papupuntahan yung pera mo. So, yung mga kaya mo namang bilhin, pero hindi mo dapat bilhin dahil meron kang goal, it allows you now to focus your spending on particular things that will help you build towards that goal. Number 2, it will provide direction. Some people have more money at the end of the month. Other people have more months at the end of the money. So in other words, hindi pa tapos yung buwan, wala ng pera. So yung tinatawag nilang petsa de peligro. So when you have a goal in mind, you tell your money where to go. Don't just let your money go. Di ba? Paminsan kasi, naisip natin, kumita tayo ng ganito, pero at the end of the month, parang, saan napunta lahat yun? Di ba? Where did it all go? All because walang direksyon eh. There's nothing that you're building towards. So when you have a goal, it provides you now a direction and a strategy to get to where you want to go. And then the third thing is a goal will actually dare you to do the impossible. Bata pa lang ako sinabi ko sa sarili ko, I will earn my own money. Ayoko yung namamasukan ako. I didn't see myself corporately working an 8 to 5 job and being paid the salary. And that's just me. I know maraming tao, they do well in corporations and that's fine. But for me, I always wanted to earn my own money. And so therefore, at that time, sobrang imposible para sa amin while we're starting out our family, while we're starting out our business, sobrang imposible. But because we had a goal in mind, what was impossible once now became possible. I mean, for one, kasi we're a big family nga, di ba? So we couldn't even imagine taking a family vacation all together, international. And it happened last year. We were all together. We went to Japan. We spent 10 days in Osaka and in Tokyo. We visited Disney. We visited Universal. Na back in the day, talagang hindi mo maisip na posible yun eh. Or to even buy a business. I mean, but now, these things, when we look back, because there was a clear goal in mind, it became possible for us. Diba? And I think, this is where God gives you the faith to believe for bigger and better things. Because you've been faithful with the little, He will entrust you with much. So, truth to tell, kung hindi mo kayang i-budget ang 10,000 pesos, hindi ka naman i-entrust ang 100,000 pesos. So, it's really being faithful and stewarding the little that you have that will help you dream for the impossible. If we're gonna create a goal for ourselves, make it a big, hairy, audacious goal. Katulad din sinasabi ni Jim Collins in his book, Good to Great, di ba? Create your BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. Because if it's compelling for you, then it's not impossible to do. So that's the first, di ba? Commit to a goal. Ikaw ba, Marvin, what were some of the goals that you had before when you were younger?
I've been goal-driven ever since. Everything that I did in my finances was predicated on how I did my goals. So, true story, I was saving up for retirement, 22 pa lang ako. I was saving up for my wedding fund. Wala pa akong girlfriend noon. I was saving up for college tuition ng anak. Wala rin akong girlfriend noon. So, yung mga kaibigan ko at that time, and for those who've been watching the YouTube channel, they've heard this over and over na pinagtatawanan ako ng mga friends ko because, ba't ka nagsisave ng wedding? Wala ka pa naman girlfriend. Sabi nila, lakas ng pananalig mo kay Lord. Ba't ka nagsisave ng ganito kaaga? The time you need it, it's already too late eh. The best time for you to prepare is when you don't need it. So, the way you do goals is you segment it based on anong kailangan mo, what were your plans for it, and the technique there is basically this, and that's what I've been doing. If the goal is so far, you put in a small amount of money, but not just a small amount of money, you can take as much risk as possible. If the goal is so near, you put in more money there, pero you take less risk naman. Kasi baka kailangan mo na yung pera afterward eh. So, that's how I've been doing it. I distribute my money up until now every time money comes in. Tapos, the way it's distributed is it goes to every goal or every budget or every item that's there. So that, alam mo yung pinaka-technique why I do it? Because when you split your money, hindi siya nagmumukhang malaki. Pag hindi siya nagmumukhang malaki, it forces you to work more eh. And the problem sometimes is if there's no goal, you just have a large amount of money lying around, you become either complacent or you spend too much. Okay na to. May sale sa mall. Okay, bili na ako TV kahit may TV pa na gumaganap kasi madami pa naman yan eh. So that's what I do. Split everything based on a certain goal that I want. Then even if I have the money to buy this, pero the money for my goal is not enough to buy that, I will not get from another goal. That's my technique. Then after a goal gets achieved, syempre, you have money again. Then I see, do I need to open another goal or this money I put into an existing goal as well? So bumibilis siya. And that has protected me na I didn't have to go into debt kasi meron akong goal to protect me for emergencies, meron akong goal to protect me for certain aspects. So, yeah, goals are very, very important. Excel is my best friend. A lot of people don't understand how I do it, pero Excel lang talaga ako. Even the way I would, kasi ano yun per goal, na either magkaibang bank account or magkaibang ano. So it's very tedious. It's not something I recommend for a lot of people, but it works for me. I'll share this. This moment, things like this is something that I've prepared for a very, very long time in terms of buffer for cash, buffer for investments. Kung bumagsak yung market, may pangsalo ako, that I can, tapos I also made sure that what if zero pumasok, how many years will I last before even touching my emergency fund? So I've prepared for this. But there's one thing I realized. There are some things that are so important na hindi pera. And when people ask me what's my best investment over the past 4 weeks, it's I bought a water purifier. That's my best investment. Because before this, nagpapa-deliver kami lagi ng water or bumibili ako ng water. Then I already had the what if everything closes down, walang water, and wala na mabilhan? So sabi ko, I need to buy it. And it makes you realize that there are some things that you decide on that sometimes hindi na siya pera related, but it helps you also. And you said one of the most important aspects is time. That just looking at it now, it saves me a lot of time because I would go to the grocery right now. The lines are so long, and there's a greater amount of risk if you go out. So that one alone, and plus, correct. You're encouraged to drink so much water during this time. That sulit na sulit ko siya kagad. So kumbaga sa investment, ROI talaga ako. And second was when a lot of people were scared about what if lahat ng mga tao magpanic, kumuha ng pera, mag-withdraw ng pera sa bangko. A good friend told me this, don't be scared about that. Focus first on getting food. Kasi even if you have a lot of money, kasi sarado lahat ng mga groceries, wala kang mabibili. So at this time daw, what's more important is you grab a hold of whatever essentials that you have. And then the money naman, as long as the central bank is very, very strong, you have nothing to worry about. So
the next thing now will become the steps to help achieve your goal. The second tip is assess the negotiables and the non-negotiables of your budget. When you think about a budget really is a tool that will help you achieve your goal. A budget is not strictly a restriction of what you can and cannot buy, but it's protection for you because you have to be able to set aside money so that you can operate, quote unquote, operate your home properly, but at the same time help you reach your goals as well. So when you talk about the budget, there are two things. When you talk about the budget, there's the non-negotiables and there's the negotiables. Non-negotiables, for example, now we feel it, the rent, water, electricity, cable, internet connection, these are there. Non-negotiable yan. In other words, whether we use it or not, then we're gonna have to be paying for that. The negotiables now are the ones that are the little things that you enjoy that maybe you can cut down if you're serious about pursuing your goal. Let's say, for example, you have X amount for entertainment, like going to the movies, coffee or dinner out, etc., etc. If you have a goal, then you can probably not naman totally take it out, but you can maybe limit the negotiable item in your budget. Importante kasi ma-identify ano ba yung mga negotiable items. Kasi yung non-negotiable, wala ka na magagawa doon. Everybody's gonna have to pay for that. So in business, for example, for us, our non-negotiable is our rent, our water, our electricity, our supplies, but those are non-negotiable. Negotiable ones are those little extras that we can actually save on and say, we won't invest in that first. We won't buy those things first because it's not needed anyway. A budget is a tool that will, number one, help us with our spending. Kung hindi kinakailangan dahil meron kang goal na gusto mong ma-achieve, then it disciplines you now and says that, hey, no, you don't spend on that because you want to be able to achieve a certain goal later on. Or it's also a measuring rod or measuring tool to help us measure how far or how near we are towards our goal. And then a budget assists us in the decision-making process. So without a budget kasi, it's very hard to make informed decisions on can I buy or can I invest in it or not. Ikaw, Marvin, I know that you worked before, diba? Before becoming a full-time entrepreneur and a financial guru. Naka naman. So how did you have a budget at that time when you were working in a company?
For me, a budget it's a snapshot of what people prioritize. So meaning, your budget will be different from mine kasi since we're all different types of people, when you look at the budget, it shows you what you prioritize. It shows you what's important to you. So, parang kunyari, for Ardy, you mentioned kanina, non-negotiable cable, something like that. You mentioned that a while ago. Sa akin, wala akong cable. We don't watch TV kasi it's not something that's up on what I really want. And ganoon din sa ibang tao.
Right.
People say, magtipid kayo sa Starbucks, mag-budget kayo. For some people na hindi naman talaga nagkakape, it's a non-issue for them. But for some people na, I love coffee. I drink 3 cups of coffee a day. So, since I said budget is a snapshot, it tells me, sige, mag-budget ako ng pera for coffee, pero, may extra ako pera, hindi na lang ako kukuha ng Netflix. Parang it tells you what's more valuable to you. It tells you that you like coffee more than Netflix. But what's so important about a budget is, kunyari, dinagay ko siya 500 pesos coffee. 3 cup lang yata yung buong buwan, no? 500 pesos coffee. It means that I should never go above 500. That's kasi ikaw naman nag-set nun eh. You define how much you put, but you also have to execute it, and that's the most important thing. So, ganun lang sa akin. Even when I was starting out, mababa sweldo ko. Anyone who's entry level naman, mababa sweldo. Pero, when you're starting out, kailangan mo ng pambili ng damit eh. Corporate, kailangan mo ng damit eh. So, I had a clothing budget. Pero yung clothing budget ko, for example, gusto mo na, kailangan mo rin ng jacket eh, para, yun yung technique ko dati. Bili ka ng mahal na jacket sa office, para, kahit paulit-ulit yung damit mo sa, hindi masyado madami polo mo, natatakpan na siya, okay na siya. So, if you want to buy something expensive, that's, for example, budget mo is 1.5 lang yung budget mo for clothes, and then yung gusto mong bilhin 4,000, 5,000, that your budget's telling you can buy it, but you have to wait for 3 months before you buy it. So, I will never go above my budget. That's one. Or number 2, I really needed a jacket. Tapos 1.5 lang yung budget ko. I'll be creative. I'll find ways on how I can find a budget that's worth 1,500. If not, I will wait 2 months until I can buy it. Or, this is what I did. A budget motivates me. Meaning, 1.5 lang yung pera ko pambili ng damit. 4.5 yung kailangan ko. It aroused the entrepreneurial spirit in me that kulang yung budget eh. I'll find ways on how I can raise cash in order for me to buy it. But it gives me a realization. Right. Ito yung pera mo, I'll be faithful with this. Kung walang papasok, okay lang. Tease ka lang, wag ka maiinggit kung may kaibigan ka na meron ganun. Pero what you do is, if you have the means, you have the ability to raise cash, do you raise cash? It's for me, budgeting gives you a wake-up call kung nasan ka talaga sa finances mo eh. Ito na talaga pwede mo gawin. Ito na pwede talagang gastusan mo eh. What I did was, I placed an amount to everything that I could possibly spend on. Kasi, you know this naman, that we all have unlimited wants eh, but the money is limited eh. So, I placed everything that I wanted, pero, since I said it's a prioritization, I filled in money first dun sa mga importante. Until dun sa pinakadulo, hindi na siya ganun ka-importante, wala na talagang pera dun. In the reality of things, the reason why it's ranked lower because there are other things that are more important. I'll give you an example. When I got married, my wife likes to shop. Magkaiba kami. Hindi ako mahilig mag-shop. Pero dahil hindi ako gwapo, kailangan masaya siya. So, kailangan masaya yung shopping niya. So, what I did was, in our budget, we have a lifestyle allowance. The lifestyle allowance is whatever she wants, as long as pasok sa budget na yun, she can spend. She can buy. budgeting is putting a name to every peso that comes your way so that since may nakaalat na pera sa pangalan na yun, hindi ka magugulat eh. Kasi kung walang nakaalat, magugulat ka, ay, kailangan ko pala to 2,000, kulang yung pang tuition. Pero if you put a name already at the start, when the need arises, you're already prepared. It's already there. Guys, comment below if you're learning. Comment if this is something that's helping you as well. We are at the midway point already, and I hope that
Right.
Ardy saying gives you tremendous value. Okay, number 3.
Maraming aaray to, whether in a big way or in a small way. Service your debt diligently. There are 2 types of debt. There's the good debt and there's the bad debt. The good debt is business loans. Like you wanna borrow money from the bank to be able to build your business, or not a housing loan. I think that's a good loan. You want to buy property or you want to be able to renovate your house. Okay naman yun. And then there's what you call the bad debt. The bad debt is normally those things that you borrow and you have an intention to pay. Meron ka naman intention bayaran. Kaya lang, for some reason, because ginagamit mo pang sarili mo, hindi nababayaran agad. Kung titignan mo ngayon, talagang ang daming klaseng loan. But always remember what King Solomon said many years ago, that the borrower is always a slave to the lender. So in other words, while we are in debt, we are always working for someone else because we have to service that. We have to pay that off. Also, if there any one of us out there in debt, number 1, getting into debt is a hard issue. Why do you want it now? Why can't you wait until you save up to be able to buy something, diba? But how do you get out of debt? Simple way to get out of debt is list down all the debts. Kahit ilang libo yan, kahit ilang daang piso lang yan, list down everything, including the interest. And then number 2 is determine to pay from the smallest to the biggest. Meaning the smallest loan, bayaran mo na yan para it's out of the way. Then you work your way towards the bigger ticket item. And then the third one is stick to the plan until you're debt free. I've heard in other companies, ang daming klaseng loans. There's salary loan, there's personal loan, there's fitness loan, may dental loan, lahat ng klaseng loan meron eh. Diba? So people just keep jumping from one loan to another. Pag natapos nila yung dental loan nila, may pagkagamitan ako niyan, I'll take out that loan again, then I'll use it for something else. Diba? So it's a vicious cycle, hindi na sila nakakaalis doon. So I think the key is to be able to be debt-free and remain debt-free. In other words, mas maigi na ikaw yung papautang or ikaw yung inutangan kaysa ikaw yung umuutang. Diba? I think my point there is it doesn't help to talk about bad debt. It's not going to help you. It's going to drain your finances. Number 2, it's gonna destroy relationships. And number 3, it's not good for us, our personal health, because you end up becoming stressed over time.
Seen how bad it was on people around me. That's why, as much as possible, I tried not to go into it already. Kasi how interest would hurt people. How it causes you na you're worrying about it. So, ganun lang. In the way I would do my business or investing, or even in the way that I would purchase, I'm very conservative towards debt. That if hindi ko naman talaga kailangan bilhin, tapos utangin ko lang, hindi ko na lang siya bibilhin. And even though, for example, for real estate investing, it's very calculated. And the way I see it is debt for me. Tapos it's an investment, or for example, something that's very, very conservative. As long as pinag-aralan mo, and then you take calculated risks. And then even if those risks do not, parang the way you would go about your investment, hindi rin siya gumana, very, very important for me, may cash ako pang salo dun sa debt na yun. So every time I borrow, I always think about, do I have enough cash that I can able to pay it if things go so bad? So I would not. So if the answer is once things go so bad, tas wala kang pambayad, then I won't borrow it anymore. I won't borrow. I won't buy it. The only time that I will buy it is if I know that I have cash flow to be able to pay for whatever the monthly is, or I have enough cash also na something bad happens, I can take out that loan also altogether. And the reason why I take out the loan is because it's just leverage that baka mamaya mababa yung interest rate and your money might be better off working hard for you to take out that loan as well. So yun lang. Pero in all things, if it's a consumer loan, if it's a credit card or anything na kailangan na it doesn't really build on an asset, di ako uutang. And you said everything perfectly, no? I just wanted to add that for those who are in debt, especially anything that's consumer, meaning anything that yung pinagpautangan mo, wala naman siyang potential para kumita para sa'yo, the best thing that you can do right now is to pay it off. Meaning, pera ka sa bangko, tapos tulog lang siya sa bangko, better take the money out and pay the debt. Kasi the interest that you will pay for that is bigger. Or, meron kong gamit sa bahay na hindi mo kailangan. Benta mo, sell everything except for your mother-in-law. Sell as much as you can because that item at home, that appliance or whatever you have, it's just rotting, it's depreciating, it doesn't give you cash flow. So sell that na lang. Better your house of things that you don't need and just leave the bare essentials. Kasi when that happens, you will realize na buhay naman ako kahit ito lang yung meron ako Pero not just that, all of the things that are there are just dead weight at home that doesn't give you cash flow. It helps you bring you forward kasi I'd rather have a smaller TV or no TV at all than pay 42% interest from my credit card per year. And lastly, kung tingin nyo talaga kulang talaga, wala nang mabenta. It's a season That's why we started with goals If part of your goal is paying off that credit card, you know you're in a season of your life that you need to pay the credit card, then work hard. We are in an era right now where after your job, 8 hours, you can do so much more outside your job to make more money to compensate for that delta of paying out your debt. So if you work extra, that debt that should have been 5 years or 1 year, you can cut it by so much I just encourage people that if you have so much time watching Netflix, pero you have debt, and you think, hindi ko ito mababayaran ng utang mo, the best way for you to be able to pay it is stop watching Netflix and try to find something that you can use to use the time to earn so you can pay your debt faster. Step number 3 is so important in everything that we talked about because no matter how good you are in business investing, kung hindi mo nabayaran ang utang mo, it's just like you running na nakakadena ka or may nakahawak sa'yo kasi you won't be able to pass. Kasama din doon sa binabayaran yung utang sa kamag-anak. Kasi madami nag-iisip na kamag-anak hindi na kailangan bayaran Kailangan nyo pa rin bayaran yun sa kamag-anak. Well, hindi pay when able. You pay it as before you buy that gadget.
Correct. So recap muna tayo. Number 1 is commit to your financial goals. Number 2 is assess the non-negotiables and the negotiables of your budget. Number 3 is service your debt diligently. And then number 4, ito na yung pang-apat, harness the power of compounded interest. Compounded interest kasi can either work for you or it can work against you. Why? Because if you are on the debt side, kung may utang ka, compounded interest is working against you. Talagang kakainin ka ng buhay ng interest ng pagkakautang mo. A lot of people just fall into the debt trap without considering the interest that they need to pay. Feeling na kailangan nila ngayon. So, kukuha sila ng utang o gagamit sila ng credit card o hihiram sa 5-6 o hihiram sa kamag-anak. And then sabihin ng kamag-anak, sige, kahit 1% na lang para lang may kinikita yung pera ko. Pero hindi nila naisip na that's 1% a month. That's just too much interest. Kahit na sabihin mo 1% a month, that's still 1% a month. But when you think about going on the other side after you've paid off your debt, when you go on the other side and you're saving and investing, then compounded interest naman works for you. But so, you want to get on that side where it's savings and investment kasi nga, you're building towards your goal. Whether that's your educational goals, your travel goals, your debt repayment goals, whatever goal it is, you want to be on the other side of compounded interest, where your money is working for you and not against you. When you think the power of compounded interest, I think the first thing, and you will educate us more on this, Marvin, is you have to analyze also your appetite for risk. Kasi ano ba yung appetite mo for risk? Is it high? Is it medium? Or is it low?
I like what you opened it up with, no, for compounding. Kasi compounding generally is money earning, and the earnings is reinvested so that that reinvested earnings will earn money for you. And for a lot of people, they don't see the power of it, eh. Because the power of it takes two things. Number one, for me, needs discipline to stay the course, to regularly put in money and not touch it and let it grow. And number two, you have the patience. Because if you study, I've made so many videos about this. You guys can just check the previous videos. But there's a tipping point, eh. Kung saan mo mararamdaman on how big the earnings will be. And it's not on year 2 and it's not on year 4. It's on year 8, 10, 12 that you see how big the earnings will be. For it to work, it doesn't actually matter what investment you put it in, but what's more important is how faithful you are to your plan to put it. Number one, that if you earn more, you just put it back, you pump it back in. Then if you have a bonus, you get promoted, you put in more. The goal is to stockpile and to build your base, because when your base is bigger, that's where your money will work harder for you. This is something that a lot of people don't know, but it's something that's so good. Even Pag-ibig's MP2 is amazing. Those investments are very, very safe and they can give you a lot of tax advantages, but in the same time, they're compounding. But the strength there really is not where you put it, eh. The strength there is how good you are in faithfully putting it. Kasi sometimes when times are good, we tend to forget to put money, eh. We tend to enjoy it, eh. And yun yung napansin ko, eh. Filipinos in general, they want to put in 10,000 pesos hoping that they hit the jackpot na maging 100,000 siya. Or they want to put in 50,000 pesos hoping that they hit the jackpot investment na maging 1 million. That's not how it works, eh. The way it works is you steadily put in that after a large amount of time, it becomes sizable enough that it works so hard for you that even if you stop, because you've already placed in a lot of money, over time, then it starts to grow even more as well. What people need to get from this video is what's a specific amount of money that after this lockdown is over that they can set aside. That regardless of what happens, they will be faithful to it. Kasi I've done so many either talks or videos like this that after people watch it, they get so inspired that I'll save 50% of my salary that doesn't work. It has to be an amount that tomorrow, kahit anong mangyari sa economy, up until a year from now, you'll be faithful with that amount. So if you can do 500 pesos, do it, and then just put and put and put and put and put and put. Kasi that's the consistency is what's gonna make it big, eh. Then you figure out kung saan mo na lang ilagay later on. Pero what's important is naglalagay ka na, kasi lalaki at lalaki yun as long as hindi mo siya tinatanggal, eh. And I've seen this already so many times for a lot of people who are investors. They invest, kumita, dumoble pera. They remove the principal. So sayang. The strength of compounding is you don't take the principal and you don't take the interest and you just keep on putting more until it becomes big enough that it hits your goal. When you hit your goal, tas may sobra ka pa, that's where it becomes interesting. That's where it becomes exciting. Because that amount of money na sobra, you can take as much risk with that as possible, that even if bumagsak yun, eh, nakuha mo na yung goal mo, eh. That's the secret on why the rich get richer. Okay. That's why Elon Musk can play around and invest in different items, because he already covered his bases. So for people to be able to cover their bases, my biggest suggestion, put as much as you can that you can faithfully do, and then just do that until you hit your goal. And you'll be as rich as Ardy Abello.
Yeah. Ikaw talaga. It was really a good time having this conversation with someone who knows a lot about investment and stuff, and the whole goal of all of this. And I hope that our viewers learned a lot from it, because now is a time where we should seriously think about where do we put our money next. Some might even think na, paano yun, wala nang trabaho, di ba? We don't have means of earning income and all. However, it's not how much you earn, but it's how much you set aside and how much you can make that money grow. That determines a person's wealthness, diba, yung fitness niya. And you're right, when you deal with money or when you work with money, it really talks about discipline. Parang fitness lang naman yan, diba? I mean, if you want to be fit, if you want to be healthy, there are certain disciplines, diba, that you have to go through, or that you have to be able to become healthy and over time. So in the same way, you don't create wealth overnight. You create wealth over time. But in order to do that, these are 4 disciplines that we actually shared with you to be able to create wealth, and not just cash, but to be able to create wealth. And it's the ability to become disciplined and stay disciplined all throughout. I like what you said earlier, to be disciplined enough to see your money grow and to become financially stable and financially independent. There is one story though, by John Ortberg, which captured my attention while I was listening to a talk by Ken Blanchard, and he was saying that John Ortberg had his grandmother stay with him while he was growing up, and his grandmother loved to play the game of Monopoly. And that Monopoly is all about acquisition, having enough cash, etc. And the key in Monopoly is to be able to get so rich that anyone that lands in your property will, you will play them out of the board, essentially. And so John Ortberg used to play a lot of Monopoly with his grandmother, and his grandmother would really crush him, as in he would never win against his grandmother. And so one summer, he determined that by fall, he would be able to play with his grandmother and beat his grandmother in the game of Monopoly. So that particular summer, he played Monopoly with a good friend of his, a neighbor of his, and he played every single day until he got the idea of Monopoly, which is acquisition and cash. That's the way you win the game. So finally, fall came, and his grandmother he challenged his grandmother to a game of Monopoly. And that was the first time that he beat his grandmother in the game of Monopoly. So he learned everything about Monopoly. He won against his grandmother against Monopoly. And his grandmother at that time told him this. He said, always remember, after every game, it all goes back to the box. In other words, you were saying earlier that money is not the only thing. That is true. Because at the end of it all, when we've acquired everything, when we've had so much cash, let us not forget that there are other things that actually have more value in our lives, which is our relationships, our time with our family, our time with our friends, our time with our co-workers and employees. These are the things that we will carry on. And even when everything goes back to the box at the end of the game, these are the things that we should have had invested in as we reach our goals. That's why goals are very important. And remember to bring other people along with your goals in life, so that when you build not just your finances, but you're also building memories in the process, because everything will go back to the box at the end of the game.
Thank you so much, Ardy Abello, for being part of this video.
Thank you.
For those who are watching, I hope you guys got a lot. Put your comments below if you guys have any questions, and we'll build videos on top of that as well. If you guys like Ardy, comment "I love Ardy." Put them in the comment section, and then so then we'll see if we can make more good Ardy Abello as well. Lastly, Ardy, before we go, how can people reach you?
Reach me through Facebook, Ardy Abello, RDS Abello. That's my Facebook page. Or you can go on Instagram, and that's AS Abello or Ardy Abello. You can search me on Instagram. And of course, through email, for those of you that still believe in email, It's ardy.abello@gmail.com. Thank you, Marvin.
And by the way, sa mga nagtanong, siya ba yung asawa ni Miriam Kiambao? Hindi siya yung asawa ni Miriam Kiambao. Ibang Ardy yun, guys. Ibang Ardy yun. So, pero magkaibigan sila. Pero ibang Ardy yun. So, that's it. I hope you guys learned a lot. And I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again. See you guys and God bless you.